students. I hope you all are doing fine. From the previous video on respiration part 1, you have gained knowledge on breathing, respiration rate, and cellular respiration. You also clearly understood the formation of muscle cramps and relief, explaining aerobic and anaerobic respiration well. Now, let's see what is special in this video. Learning objectives. Now, we are going to focus on explanation of breathing rate with activity. How do we breathe? Inhalation and exhalation with activity. Activity to show the mechanism of breathing. An experiment to show that exhaled air is rich in carbon dioxide. Keywords: breathing rate, diaphragm, exhalation, lungs, inhalation, trachea, ribs. Concept map. Come on students, you all understand the meaning of breathing, right? And also how the cell respires and gives energy. Now, let's know a bit more about breathing rate and the mechanism of breathing. Breathing. Hold your breath. How do you feel? Suffocation, right? So, now you know that you cannot survive for long without breathing. Based on the previous video, you all understood that breathing means taking in air rich in oxygen and giving out air rich in carbon dioxide with the help of respiratory organs. The process of taking in air rich in oxygen into the body is called inhalation, and giving out of air rich in carbon dioxide is known as exhalation. It is a continuous process that goes on all the time and throughout the life of an organism. The number of times a person breathes in a minute is called the breathing rate. During breathing, inhalation and exhalation take place alternately. A breath means one inhalation plus one exhalation. The breathing rate of a person is not always constant. It changes according to the oxygen requirement of the body. Breathing rate is somewhat faster in women than in men and children. It is higher 20 to 30 times per minute than adults. Generally, we are not aware that we are breathing. However, if you try, you can count your rate of breathing. Let us find out by doing the following activity. Breathe in and out normally. Find out how many times You breathe in and out in a minute. Did you inhale the same number of times as you exhaled? Remember that the rate of inhalation and exhalation will always be the same. Now, count your breathing rate, number of breaths per minute, after a brisk walk and after running. Record your breathing rate as soon as you finish and after rest. Tabulate your findings and compare your breathing rates under different conditions from those of your classmates. Of course, you can find that breathing rate shows slight variations from person to person. From the above activity, you must have realized that whenever a person needs extra energy, he or she breathes faster. As a result, more oxygen is supplied to our cells. It speeds up the breakdown of food and more energy is released. Does this explain why we feel hungry after a physical activity? This is a fact. When you feel drowsy, does your breathing rate slow down? Does your body receive sufficient oxygen? Can you say in which activity the rate of breathing will be the slowest and in which it will be the fastest? Observe the pictures and try to place in the order of an increasing rate of breathing according to your experience. I hope the concept is clear until here. Now, let's concentrate on the respiratory system to understand the exact airflow in our body, step by step, from the nostrils to cells in the body, and from the body cells to the nostrils. Let's now learn about the mechanism of breathing. Normally, we take in air through our nostrils. When we inhale air, it passes through our nostrils into the nasal cavity. The air reaches our lungs through the windpipe from the nasal cavity. Lungs are present in the chest cavity. This cavity is surrounded by ribs on the sides. A large muscular sheet called a diaphragm forms the floor of the chest cavity. Breathing involves the movement of the diaphragm and the rib cage. During inhalation, ribs move up and outwards and the diaphragm moves down. This movement increases space in our chest cavity and air rushes into the lungs. The lungs get filled with air. During exhalation, ribs move down and inwards, while the diaphragm moves up to its former position. This reduces the size of the chest cavity and air is pushed out of the lungs. These movements in our body can be felt easily. Take a deep breath. Keep your palm on the abdomen and feel the movement of the abdomen. What do you find? I think you all understood that in breathing there are some changes seen in the size of the chest cavity. Let us see another activity. Take a deep breath. Measure the chest size with a measuring tape and record your observations. Measure the size of the chest again when expanded and indicate which classmate shows the maximum expansion of the chest. Understand the mechanism of breathing explained using a simple model. Activity. Take a white plastic bottle. Remove the bottom. Get a Y-shaped glass or plastic tube. Make a hole in the lid so that the tube may pass through it. To the fork end of the tube, fix 2 deflated balloons. Introduce the tube into the bottle as shown. Now cap the bottle. Seal it to make it airtight. To the open base of the bottle, tie a thin rubber or plastic sheet using a large rubber band. To understand the expansion of the lungs, pull the rubber sheet from the base downwards and watch the balloons. Next, push the rubber or plastic sheet up and observe the balloons. Did you see any changes in the balloons? What do the balloons in this model represent? What does the rubber sheet represent? Now, you should be able to explain the mechanism of breathing. All are ready, right? Students, look at this interesting activity to show that the air we exhale is rich in carbon dioxide. Take a slender, clean test tube or a glass or plastic bottle. Make a hole in its lid and fix it on the bottle. Pour some freshly prepared lime water into the test tube. Insert a plastic straw through the hole in the lid in such a way that it dips in lime water. Now, blow gently through the straw a few times. Is there a change in the appearance of lime water? Can you explain this change based on what you have learned now in the previous classes? You may observe that lime water turns milky white due to carbon dioxide. Interesting, right? You are aware that the air we inhale or exhale is a mixture of gases. What do we exhale? Do we exhale only carbon dioxide or a mixture of gases along with it? It's a mixture of gases. You must have also observed that if you exhale on a mirror, a film of moisture appears on its surface. From where do these droplets come? As mentioned earlier, the air we breathe in contains 0.05% water vapor even, along with the other mixture of gases. Therefore, the film of moisture formed on the mirror surface is because of the water vapor content in the air.